You know what amazes me about success? When I look at people around me who are just ultra successful, I mean, whether it's in their physical body, whether it's in their finances, whether it's in their relationships, whatever, it's not that they're any smarter, it's not that they're any more talented, they weren't born with something special. Instead, they simply have a different mindset. So for the past decade, I've been obsessed with observing mindset changes, mindset shifts, and how by changing the way you think about life and about a problem, it can change the results in a dramatic way. So my name is Brandon Turner, host of the BiggerPockets podcast, and today I'm gonna go through 6 of those most important mindset changes to take you from where you are today to where you wanna be. Stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about those mindset shifts. Now, before I get into all 6 of them, can you do me a favor? If you like this video, do me a favor and smash down that like button below the video, letting the internet world know that this is a good video. And now let's get to the 6 mindset shifts. Number 1, changing from saying I can't to asking the question, how do I? So I first heard this concept when I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad back when I was 21. So Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad Poor Dad makes a statement that poor people tend to say, I can't afford it, anything, but rich people ask the question, how do I afford it? So I can't afford to go on vacation. No, how do I afford it? I can't afford a house. No, how do I afford it? Here's a good example of that. Some people say, I can't afford a house. When I was 21, I said the same thing. I was like, I can't afford a house. But then I realized if I bought a duplex, so 2 houses on 1 lot, I could live in one of them and rent the other one out, and I could live for free. So now all of a sudden, I'm living cheaper than everybody else around me, even though I'm the guy that said I can't afford it. Now, well, how do you have the money to buy a duplex? There's a thing called an FHA loan, which is just 3.5% down. In fact, there are even 0% loans out there for those willing to ask the question, how do I? That's why mindset shift number 1, everyone I believe needs to understand and get through is moving from saying I can't to asking the question, how can I? All right, number 2, I have to versus, or moving towards, I get to. So a lot of people will complain, and myself included, will complain about things like, oh, I have to do this job, or I have to go do this work, I have to make this video today out here in Hawaii. Dang it. No, I have to becomes a very negative way of looking at the world and of everything you have to do. You know, a lot of what we do in life, whether you're successful or not, is pretty mundane stuff. I have to go get the car washed. I have to get the oil changed. I have to, stay up until 3 a.m. with my newborn baby and make sure that my wife gets a little bit of sleep at night and we kind of trade off. Though I have to. But successful people generally don't say I have to. Instead, what they say is, I get to. I get to. You know, somebody once said to me that the things that we complain about today are often the things we prayed for and we asked for years ago. And I think that's so true in the way we look at it, right? I have to stay up and I have to, stay up until 3 a.m. with my little kid who's crying all night. No, I get to. It's just a mindset change about we have opportunities in things or we can see problems in things. So I want to choose to see the opportunity in them. So the idea of moving from I have to, which is a complaining mentality, to I get to, which is a mindset of abundance and blessing. Number 3, moving from I want to I will. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever said, I want to lose weight? Or I want to gain some muscle? You want to do things and then found out later you didn't actually do it? I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. We're all guilty of this, about wanting to do something. But here's the thing. There is a massive difference between desire and commitment. And that's why the mindset change, the third mindset change I want to talk about is moving from this I want to do it to I will do it. That's the difference between, again, desire and commitment, saying I plan to do something versus I'm actually going to do it. Now, why is it that sometimes we do things and sometimes we don't? Well, I'm fascinated by this topic. In fact, I had a conversation with a good friend the other day who was saying, look, every day now for a year, he says, I have been making sure I hit 10,000 steps. He's got his Fitbit watch. Every day he hits 10,000 steps. He's like, why do I do that? And I'm so good about it. Yet when it comes to my real estate, I need to go and make a simple phone call. And I've known for weeks I need to make this simple phone call. Why have I not made that simple phone call? How can I be so dedicated to this thing in my life and not other things? So you have to convince not just the logical side of your mind that you're going to do something, but the emotional side. And the best way to do that, figure out your why. Why is it you want to do whatever you're doing? You know, the friend who's doing the 10,000 steps every day, he has a very strong why for why he wants to be healthy. But maybe his why isn't strong enough for why he needs to make that phone call to develop his real estate business. All right, moving on. Number 4. Some people love to say it's not my fault. When things go wrong, they instantly go to, it's not my fault, I didn't do it, not my fault. Where successful people claim everything is not necessarily their fault, but their responsibility. You know, Jocko Willink has a great book called Extreme Ownership, and it's all about this concept that it doesn't matter whose fault something is, but leaders and successful people take ownership and take responsibility for everything in their life. So no more of this, you know, well, it's not my fault that this happened. No, it's all my fault, or it's all my responsibility. I'll give you an example. So the other day I was planning to go to the gym, but you know, then my kid didn't sleep very well, and so I was up kind of late, so I ended up sleeping in a little bit. Now I could turn around and blame this on a 2-week-old baby, or I could say, no, Brandon, this is my fault, my responsibility. What could I have done differently? What could I have changed in my routine to make sure that I could have actually made it to the gym? Or maybe I could have gone anyway despite being tired. And so successful people look at situations and say, no, it's my responsibility. I don't care why it happened, but I'm gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. All right, moving on. Number 5. I'm lucky versus I prepared. So a lot of people think that just rich people are lucky, successful people are lucky, great athletes are lucky. But talk to any of those great athletes, the rich people or successful people, and you'll find out it's not luck. Yes, there's luck in everything, but I think there's an old quote, I think they say Thomas Jefferson says it, I don't know. It says like, the harder I work, the luckier I get. It's because luck happens all the time to everybody, but people who are prepared for it, prepared to take advantage of the luck, they're the ones that actually reap the benefits of that lucky situation. So you're lucky, I'm lucky. But you know what, when I look at something, I'm prepared for that luck to come here. Here's an example. So when I was 24 years old, I read a book called The ABCs of Real Estate Investing by a guy named Ken McElroy. Awesome book, all about buying apartment complexes. I read that book and I was so excited about it. I told a couple at church the next day, someday I want to buy an apartment complex. You know what they said to me? They looked at me kind of funny and they said, well, Brandon, we actually have an apartment complex we want to sell. Now, you're probably thinking, lucky? And that was lucky, right? What are the chances? But think about it this way. I read that book and I made sure to tell everybody I knew around me, everybody, what I was looking to do, that I was into real estate, that I wanted to buy an apartment complex. They weren't the only person I told. Furthermore, the 4 previous years, I've been buying small real estate deals, getting to the point where I would be ready to buy an apartment complex. So although there was luck and happenstance that I happened to mention it to that couple on that day and they had an apartment they wanted to sell, if it wasn't that day, maybe it would have been 6 months later or a year later. Eventually, my hard work and my diligence would have paid off to get me that apartment. So is it luck? Yes. Is it preparedness? Yes. Why can't it be both? So if you want to get more lucky in life, get more prepared. Work hard. All right, finally, number 6. It happens versus it was intentional. So a lot of people just think that everything in their life happened by accident, or they suddenly just woke up this way and this is what they got. But successful people realize that nothing happens. Everything in the world is a result of something else that made it happen. I'm sure that's like a law of something, but everything that happens is a result of something else. And so we can reverse engineer that and say, why did that happen? And understand that it wasn't an accident. So if you're unhappy with any part of your life, realize this, that every decision you have made for your entire life has brought you exactly to where you are today, right now, watching this video. Every decision you made have brought you here. Now, that might sound negative, but I mean it in a very positive way, because every decision you make going forward will lead you somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying that you can have whatever you want if you just work hard and dream. There are some things that just won't happen. I will probably never make it to Mars or to Pluto. That's just not gonna happen. But the point being, by setting my intention and saying, this is what I'm going after, Now you can build plans and work toward that outcome rather than just seeing where you end up 10, 15, 20 years from now. So if I could encourage you with that final mindset shift today, is stop treating your life like an accident and start treating it like something you can take action on. Now, if you like this video today, make sure you give that thumbs up below the video, comment, like, share, take a friend, and follow us over on social media at BiggerPockets everywhere. And you can follow me. I'm probably most active on Instagram. You can find me at Beardy, beard with a Y, Brandon. For BiggerPockets.com, my name is Brandon Turner, Beardy Brandon, signing off.